Welcome back to the podcast, Crypto Podcast, with me, Coach 23, where we talk about pro wrestling, pop culture, and life in general. So it's a beautiful, windy Thursday morning here in our place in Laguna. It's really windy. You think there's a storm, but it's just wind, Amihan winds, But yeah, it's cold. It's like you're in an AC here. That's how cold here in Laguna. So yeah, we're back. Normally I would do an AEW, or not really normally. I haven't really done a full AEW show on a Thursday. Uh, we will do that some other time. Uh, Tomorrow will be Friday, so it'll be tomorrow. I'll be doing a random news Friday episode where we talk about certain random news, whether it's pro wrestling, pop culture, life itself, and again, it's Royal Rumble week. And yesterday we did a top five anything Royal Rumble related news. Top, I believe it's a non-Royal Rumble matches. In my opinion, top five. So we're going to do still it today, and we are going to do, in my mind, the top five. But if you look at the pictures, it's six. But I'll tell you why. Let's say it's top five plus one, or top five. One is tied. For me, Royal Rumble stories or moments. So, like I said yesterday, there's quite a lot of history of the Royal Rumble, how it started, several fun facts. But there are still other facts that I was able to research. Interwebs. Interwebs. Sound like Jim Cornette when I say the interwebs. But yeah, so um, Royal Rumble, like I said, has been here forever. But there are some fun facts, heavily rumored. Before we go with my list, heavily rumored that happened or supposed to happen to Royal Rumble, that didn't happen. Maybe some did, but most of it are not. There were like several news that in 2011 or 12, 2012, I believe. So this is WrestleMania 28. John Cena was slated to win the Royal Rumble. But this, again, this is just rumors. That was the time with the once in a lifetime match, or their first match with The Rock in Miami. It was heavily rumored that John Cena was supposed to win, and he will be either choose facing for the WWE or any world title of his choosing, or facing The Rock, because a year prior, after WrestleMania 27, he and Rock made this commitment of, you know what, let's do a match at WrestleMania 28. But it's weird. So during the time they gave the win to Sheamus, and he uh defeated Daniel Bryan in like 18 seconds to win the World Heavyweight Championship. Um, a couple of fun facts, which is another weird. I know that I said that normally the rule for the Royal Rumble, it's like a minute and 30 seconds for someone to enter the Rumble, but sometimes if you're going to clock on something, it takes more than a minute and 30 seconds. Sometimes it's 3 minutes, depending on, the walk of the wrestler, how they performed, and whatnot. But yeah, it's weird. Another fun fact: Nia Jax was the only, or is the only person to enter the Royal Rumble twice in one night. That's for the women's and men's Royal Rumble. So another fun fact for you guys. Um, Also, one of the in the person in this list, Roman Reigns, has been the silver place finisher for most Royal Rumble. I believe he lost like four times, so he's like the runner-up four times. So imagine that: 2014, 2017, 2018, and 2020. So yeah, big dog, you only won it once. And uh, wow, here's another fun fact: Kane has competed in 20 Royal Rumble matches, so that's 2 decades of Royal Rumble. Imagine that for the Big Red Machine, the Hall of Famer. Um, Another weird fun fact. This is regarding CM Punk. It was when he and WWE were able to make a commitment to to work together again in 2023. He was supposed to debut at Royal Rumble 2024. So that's last year when he got injured. However, since WWE really want to make, a big fuss about it, and especially they were in Chicago in 2023 for in Survivor Series, they made a immediate, you know, decision of, you know what, and debut now. Then this one is long. I'll do this tomorrow. And another one, there was heavily rumored that The Rock was supposed to win Royal Rumble uh, 2019 to face at the time, if ever that he was still the world champion or universal champion Roman Reigns, and it was supposed to first dream match between the two, proposed dream match. However, uh, prior to that year, prior to WrestleMania 35 or 2019, so this was 2018. Roman Reigns sadly was diagnosed with leukemia, so they stopped put a stop in that. So those are some rumors of Royal Rumble facts. Uh, and tomorrow we will look for some more. So yeah, let's go to the list now. So like I said, this is top five anything, and this time is top five Royal Rumble moments for me or stories, moments or stories throughout the years of the Royal Rumble. So moments are really, those things that really last forever. If you ask me, matches are there. You can remember a match. I remember Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart in WrestleMania 20, no, sorry, 1996, WrestleMania 12. But I can tell you the biggest moment of that, in my opinion, that match lasted for 62 minutes. I only remember Shawn Michaels hitting the sweet chin music to Tony Schimmel outside. Shawn Michaels breaking out a Hurricane Rana because that was the first time. Because I'm not a WCW fan at the time, and of course, here in Manila, you can't really watch more luchadors or lucha libre or even Japanese wrestling at the time. So it's Cars. That was the first Hurricane Rana I ever saw. Maybe I saw the Frankensteiner maybe early 90s. I don't know. I forgot. But Shawn Michaels did it in a pay per view. Shawn Michaels super kicking Bret Hart to win the title. Those are the three moments I remember for a 60-minute match. Because matches are there. It can be action packed. You can enjoy a match, but of course, you being a fan or even people as normal, you will select memories or moments for on that match, and that's what we're about to talk about Royal Rumble now. The top for me, in my opinion, the top five slash six, or tie for one, Royal Rumble moments and stories. So let's go to the list. The first one on my list, like I said, this is not really on in in order. So this is random. You can put anyone because anyone could be a number one in number one position here. So the first one in my mind, John Cena returning in 2008 at Royal Rumble, 2008. Uh, a few months prior to this Royal Rumble, he was WWE champion. He tore his pectoral muscle, I believe 1 week before No Mercy pay-per-view in 2007. That it was supposed to face Randy Orton at the time, but an errant injury happened. I believe he was trying to do a hip toss, and he tore his pectoral muscles for a guy who has like big muscles and all. That's really ironic, and maybe not ironic at all. I don't know. I'm not a bodybuilder. So he tore his pectoral muscles. He has to vacate the title. Vince McMahon at the time gave the title or awarded the title to Randy Orton. Triple H fought Randy Orton for the title, and they exchanged the title for one night. Triple H defended against Umaga, I believe. Then, in the end of the night, Randy Orton finally defeated Triple H to win the WWE title. So, John Cena had a surgery on his pectoral muscle. He was supposed to be out for 8 to 10 months because of the injury. But alas, after like 4 5 months, he was back in the Royal Rumble in a surprise entrant as number 30 in Madison Square Garden. And this was the time that fans are divided and made John Cena a polarizing character. So he was like, "Let's go Cena. Cena sucks." That was this time. the height of this time. And when his music came out, and the expression of Triple H when he was in the ring, and most of it, especially Triple H because he was in the center of the ring, John Cena's music came out, and it was like the cheer in the Madison Square Garden was really, really thunderous. It was even similar. Not I'm not saying it's the same. It's similar when Triple H returned in 2001 in Madison Square Garden as well. It was that height, and the surprise of the crowd and Cena winning that caps, on my opinion, as one of the top stories or moments or moments of Royal Rumble and Royal Rumble history. Then another one. This is the year prior to John Cena's return, so this was Royal Rumble 2007. Um, this was a little bit tricky because this happened in San Antonio, Texas, which is the hometown of Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid. And this was the time that Triple H got injured because they were still in DX. He got injured prior in the prior pay-per-view, which was New Year's Revolution. When he got injured, he injured his second quadricep muscle, his Taurus muscle. Then, according to rumors, it was heavily rumored as well that in WrestleMania 23, it was supposed to be either Triple H facing John Cena in rematch for the WWE Championship or a triple threat between Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and John Cena. But the former was the more heavily rumored, which is Triple H versus John Cena because they faced each other at WrestleMania in 22, the prior year as well. So Triple H got injured, and it became like, yeah, heavily rumored as well that no, it the heavy favorite to win the Royal Rumble 2007 was Shawn Michaels because it was his hometown as well. Um, but things changed, and Undertaker. This was one of the best, in my opinion, best finish or for a Royal Rumble match. So the final four in this match was Randy Orton, Edge, Shawn Michaels, and Undertaker. They eliminated the rated RKO because rated RKO at the time was still a thing, and one of the best sequence I have seen in a Royal Rumble, even in three, 4, 5 minute sequence. Shawn Michaels keeping up, Undertaker sitting, and he's in dead man pose, and was like, ooh, at the same time, almost at the same time that they did that. But yeah, and then at the end, Undertaker won, eliminated Shawn Michaels to win the Royal Rumble, and which in turn, Undertaker was the first one, or is the first one to win the Royal Rumble in number 30. He was actually followed by John Cena, who was number 30 as well in 2008. But yeah, it was one of the best storytelling that I've seen for a Royal Rumble. Even you can see Shawn Michaels like despair and not really upset, but he's like, oh, I almost got it because he really wants to challenge for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania to honor his friend as well, and eventually he did that. This was actually another thing that happened at the time that the winner of I believe this was the second time, one of the second time, if ever the second time that the winner of the Royal Rumble um didn't main event the WrestleMania, well, did WrestleMania. So I believe prior to that, 2006, Rey Mysterio won Royal Rumble, but he didn't main event. WrestleMania 22 was main evented by John Cena and Triple H. And when Undertaker won this Royal Rumble in 2007, the main event of WrestleMania 23 was John Cena versus Shawn Michaels. So yeah, fun fact again. So yeah, that is one of the top five, in my opinion, top five story or moments for Royal Rumble. Then let's go to the prior recent one in recent memory, Royal Rumble 2020. So here itself, the Royal Rumble, this one, as I said yesterday, in my opinion, was the best Royal Rumble so far because the story was there. They created a story that that people will remember for a long time. Three main stories that came out of Royal Rumble 2020. Brock Lesnar, despite being the WWE champion, entered the Royal Rumble. I believe he entered at number one. He eliminated like 13 straight, but in total he eliminated 15, if I remember, the total of 15 before being eliminated by, in this picture, Drew McIntyre. So they created like a couple of stories. Initially, they created like two stories for this one. It's Brock Lesnar's dominance plus Drew McIntyre's ascension. Drew McIntyre was the heavily favorite to win the Royal Rumble that year because he made it like he was starting to be organically transition from a heel to a baby face, from a bad guy to a good guy. And he said, you know what? Brock Lesnar's not here most of the time, and I want to win the Royal Rumble so I can get that WWE Championship. And he did that. He eliminated Brock Lesnar, and he won the Royal Rumble in the end. And another plus bonus stories of this one was with Hall of Famer Edge came back from supposedly a career-ending injury, of neck injury, because if you're a wrestling fan or even a sports fan, if you have like a spinal injury, and doctor said that we have to fuse two spines, so that's a double fusion surgery, your career is over. So he had his neck or spine fused. Then he got another one. Supposedly his wrestling career was over, but then something happened that, you know what, he can go. He was, medically cleared to compete again, and he returned at Royal Rumble 2020, which is a surprise to everyone. I know prior to that year, sorry for that, Edge came at SummerSlam in a pre-show, speared Elias, and people were like, "Ooh, we thought he can't do nothing anymore." But then again, before that, prior to that as well, he filmed a Sheamus workout video of him riding a bike with Sheamus, split, not together. So they're riding a bike in like in a forest, and he came out tumbling. Like and he even said it was my first bump ever, and he felt fine. Then he did, a battery of tests with doctors and such, and he said, you know what, you are cleared to compete. And when he returned Royal Rumble 2020, even I had a tear in my eye and was like surprised. I'm like, wow, he's back. I can't believe it. And yeah, right now, sadly, I'm not saying sadly in a sarcastic way. Sadly, Edge is in with AEW right now. Uh, his name is Scope because of Adam Copeland, but he said he likes Scope because it's like similar with Edge. I don't see it, but it's a story for another time. But yeah, Royal Rumble 2020 still for me in my mind is the best Royal Rumble. But you know what? Maybe this weekend can surpass that, especially with this Royal Rumble, this year's Royal Rumble. There are no heavy favorites at all. To some, they say this one, others will say this one. So unlike the this one, unlike 2020. So yeah, that's another in the list. And another one is the picture. If you look at the picture beside Drew McIntyre kicking Brock Lesnar's head, is The Rock raising the hands of his cousin Roman Reigns. So this happened Royal Rumble 2015. This was the peak of WWE management are pushing is pushing Roman Reigns as their top talent, as the one who will replace guys like Hulk Hogan, Steve Austin, The Rock, and John Cena. But the thing is, fans are like jaded. This happened this Royal Rumble 2015 happened in Philadelphia, so the crowd there is really really rowdy. It's similar with Chicago and New York in terms of a heel crowd, meaning we hate baby faces or we hate the baby faces that you push. Um, so Roman Reigns was, the heavy favorite to win, and he did. But the thing is that the fans were like getting jaded that it's just another John Cena, and we don't want another John Cena. This is the peak of let's go Cena. Cena sucks. Um, and then this happened. He got heavily booed. The final moments of this was he eliminated Miro or Rusev Rusev was the last one eliminated. Then no, despite him eliminating, winning the Royal Rumble, Big Show and Kane attacked him. Corporate Kane attacked him. Then Rock came out. Surprisingly, I was even surprised that Rock came out at this time. And despite this, despite the Rock, supposedly passing the torch to Roman Reigns, he was heavily booed. And this was against a transition of, more fans saying that, what, we don't want this version of Roman Reigns. We don't want, even for Roman Reigns, if you ask him, he said, according to Sif, I'm not organically a babyface. Although he was being cheered when he was out of the Shield, when Shield broke up, even before the Royal Rumble, this one, Royal Rumble 2014, when Batista returned and won, they were cheering Roman Reigns to win, which is again in WWE's mind, this is our next babyface or good guy, or strapped to Rocket, and he will lead us. And yeah, get heavily booed. It backfired a bit, but eventually they got there. But for me, I put this in a top five moment because it's really a moment that, what, WWE was like giving the option to the fans. Here's our good guy that we can give you, especially Cena's not really working main events now. Here's Roman Reigns, and they booed him, but things turns around. So yeah, that's one. And another in the list is, if you see, this is the second time that Roman Reigns is in the list. I This is a great story for me as well. That year was good to great. Royal Rumble 2016. Roman Reigns was already the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and he was feuding with Vince McMahon, and I don't think they were called the Authority back then, but yeah, he was feuding with management, and Vince McMahon declared that, what, you will defend the WWE World Heavyweight Championship in a Royal Rumble match. So he came out at number one. I believe Miro came out at number two and eliminated him fast. And the story was Roman Reigns defending the title, but there were all a bit notable surprises in this year's Royal Rumble. Mostly in 2016, the debut of the phenomenal one, AJ Styles, because they have it happened in Orlando, Florida. So I believe that if you look at the WWE Vault of the debut of AJ Styles, you can see how nervous he is. He even told in that interview that, you know what, I feel nervous because I don't think fans will remember me or will even know me, because if you're a diehard WWE fans, you don't know what TNA is. You don't know what New Japan is, especially for casual fans. But when he debuted, even with despite a different music, and he came out, fans were cheering. Even me, I was even surprised because he was actually enjoying his time in New Japan. He was a former IWGP World Champion there. He was challenging Shinsuke Nakamura for the New Japan Intercontinental Championship or IWGP Intercontinental Championship, and he was there. So, but the thing is, yeah, the main story for Royal Rumble 2016 was Roman Reigns defending the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, which was eventually won, which was also his last one, his 14th one. Triple H winning this Royal Rumble and winning the WWE World Heavyweight Championship for the last time, 14th time. And he eventually defended the title against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 32 in perhaps in a crowd, according to WWE, 101,000 in Cowboy Stadium, AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, Dallas, Texas. So yeah, for me, it's the story itself being the WWE Championship being defended in a Royal Rumble. Because there was a time that even Vince McMahon said that you can't defend a title in a battle royal, and he broke that mold. And he did that, and was able, and it worked for me. If you ask me, it really, really worked. So that's another the list, and of course, part of this list again. This is like a top five or slash top six list of top five anything. This is memorable for me because I never knew at this time, 1991 or 1992, who Ric Flair was. I'm not, I guess I'm not an NWA or WCW fan. I'm like, who is this blonde haired man? And I remember it's either he entered at number 3 or 5, and every time that he gets beat down, he gets beat up every time, even when it's like chopping people, punching people, suplexing people, doing his moves. When someone just punched him, it was like fall, his Ric Flair face uh fall flat in his face in the ring, and I remember that. And I was at the time, of course, if you're a young wrestling fan in my age at the time, if you don't know wrestling yet, if you don't know the Shawn Michaels, the Bret Harts, or whatnot, you only know Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, Ultimate Warrior, Undertaker, Andre the Giant. I was a Hulk Hogan fan and was like, yeah, Hulk Hogan is going to win. And then he got eliminated because Sid pulled him out, and Ric Flair won. And Ric Flair also gave this most impassioned speech afterwards that for him, being jaded from NWA, WCW, or the Jim Crockett promotions, according to him, winning the WWE Championship at this time was the highlight of his life. With an impassioned promo, the most famous promo with a tear in my eye. It's like, okay, this is something real for this guys. And this actually, despite wrestling, let's broke kayfabe talk. Wrestling is predetermined to some wrestlers, to most wrestlers even. Winning the big one means a lot to them. It's not just because of money, it's not just because of fame, it's because of the passion that they have for the wrestling business. And Ric Flair, despite being multiple time NWA WCW champion before this, he knows, and at this time as well, he knows WWE is the company. It's the machine. Even until now, most fans are still knows, or even wrestler knows, that WWE is still the machine. Of course, people are saying, nah, it's AEW now gets a hold of it. I don't think so. Because even in the time that Monday Night Wars was raging, WWE was still the most well known company. If you ask a wrestling fan, a casual fan, an athlete, hey, have you seen Hulk Hogan defended the title and this and that? Oh, yeah, in the WWE ring. And no, it's WCW. They still know wrestling as WWE. And for guys like Ric Flair, for guys, from the NWA or some people in the NWA, WCW, Jim Crockett Promotions at the time, they know it. Heck, even Cody Rhodes right now. He founded AEW with the Elite and Tony Khan. He decided that, you know what, I'm not going to win the AEW championship. This is based on his, prerogative and decision because he wants to win the WWE championship for his father. It's real to them still. And this match, Royal Rumble when Ric Flair won, this shows it as well. It's the same story or similar story with Cody Rhodes winning last year. So yeah, that's it. So yeah, that ends our top five slash one anything list. For me, the top five Royal Rumble stories and moments. So stay tuned tomorrow. Tomorrow we have Random Friday news. We'll talk about random news, everything that we can talk about. So it's wrestling, pop culture, life in general. We will be talking for Random Friday news and also another top five anything relating to Royal Rumble, which is for me. You will see the list. Okay, it's a spoiler. Not really a spoiler, but you'll be tomorrow will be I'll be listing the top five Royal Rumble performers for men because women haven't really established that moment yet. But for men, I will list the top five performers tomorrow. So yeah, we only have one episode today. Still doing a lot of grunt heavy work. Um, my co-host, watching. I will be giving him a bat after this show. Good thing he's not crying. He's watching Bluey again. Yeah. So yeah. So thank you guys for viewing. Yesterday's top five had like 30 plus views. I'm happy to say that we're about to break 1,800 views for 51 episodes by tomorrow or maybe by this weekend. So thank you guys for subscribing and watching. I finally beat that other podcast who has like 200 plus episodes. I'm not going to name him. I don't think he's worth my while, and I don't even care who is. It's just for me. I'm like I want to crush. I want to beat the views of this person because his views are really, really weird and messed up, in my opinion. I know to him, my opinion is crap as well. But you are your own hero in your own story, or you're the villain of your own story as well. So whatever you think of that. So I really, yeah, yeah, that's for it. So yeah, thank you for watching the podcast, Grifter Podcast with me, Coach 23, where we talk about pro wrestling, pop culture, and life in general. So stay tuned tomorrow. See you guys.